Mandaic is the language of the Mandaean religion and community. Classical Mandaic is used by a section of the Mandaean community in liturgical rites. The modern descendant of Classical Mandaic, known as Neo-Mandaic or Modern Mandaic, is spoken by a small section of the Mandaean community around Ahvaz, Khuzestan, Iran. Speakers of Classical Mandaic are found in Iran, Iraq and in diaspora. It is a variety of Aramaic, notable for its use of vowel letters and the striking amount of Persian influence in its lexicon. Classical Mandaic is a Northwest Semitic language of the Eastern Aramaic subfamily, and is closely related to the language of the Aramaic portions of the Babylonian Talmud, as well as the language of the incantation texts and Aramaic incantation bowls found throughout Mesopotamia. It is also related to Syriac, another member of the Eastern Aramaic subfamily, which is the liturgical language of many Christian denominations throughout the Middle East. Neo-Mandaic. Neo-Mandaic represents the latest stage of the phonological and morphological development of Mandaic, a Northwest Semitic language of the Eastern Aramaic subfamily. Along with the other surviving dialects of Aramaic, it is classified as Neo-Aramaic. These form a constellation of dialects ranging from Lake Van and Lake Urmia in the north to Damascus and Ahvaz in the south, clustered in small groups, having developed in isolation from one another. Most Neo-Aramaic dialects are mutually unintelligible and should therefore be considered separate languages. However, determining the exact relationship between the various Neo-Aramaic dialects is a difficult task, fraught with many problems, which arise from our incomplete knowledge of these dialects and their relation to the Aramaic dialects of antiquity. Aramaic became the lingua franca of the Fertile Crescent largely during the Neo-Assyrians and the Achaemenids after them, who adopted it as an auxiliary language for both international communication and internal administrative use. It gradually came to supplant the native languages of the region, but due to its wide geographic distribution and political circumstances, it soon evolved into two major subfamilies: the Western subfamilies comprising Palestinian Talmudist, Christian Palestinian, and Samaritan, and the Eastern subfamilies comprising Late Babylonian, Syriac, and Mandaic. Until the Geonic period, Late Babylonian Talmud, a High Aramaic, Standard Aramaic was in use. Although no direct descendants of Babylonian Talmudist Aramaic survive today, most of the Neo-Aramaic dialects spoken today belong to the Eastern subfamily. These include Central Neo-Aramaic, Northeastern Neo-Aramaic, and Neo-Mandaic. The only surviving remnant of the Western subfamily is Western Neo-Aramaic, spoken in the villages of Mailula, Bakkeh, and Jarbadan to the northeast of Damascus. Of all of these dialects, Eastern or Western, only Neo-Mandaic can be described with ever certainty as the direct descendant of one of the Aramaic dialects attested in late antiquity. For this reason, it is potentially of great value in reconstructing the history of this subfamily and the precise genetic relationship of its members to one another. In terms of its grammar, Neo-Mandaic is the most conservative among the Eastern Neo-Aramaic dialects, preserving the Old Semitic suffix conjugation. The phonology, however, has undergone many innovations, the most notable being the loss of the so-called guttural consonants. Neo-Mandaic survives in three subdialects, which arose in the cities of Shushtar, Shah Wali, and Dezful in northern Khuzestan, Iran. The Mandaean communities in these cities fled persecution during the 1880s and settled in the Iranian cities of Ahvaz and Khorramshahr. While Khorramshahr boasted the largest Mandaic-speaking population until the 1980s, the Iran-Iraq War caused many to flee into diaspora, leaving Ahvaz the only remaining Mandaic-speaking community.